Hello, AmCham Ukraine. Thank you for the chance to speak at this year's annual general membership meeting, and to Andy for his leadership. You all know Andy is truly amazing. I would like to acknowledge Robert Mariner, who recently arrived in Kyiv. Robert is serving through a U.S.-funded program as an embedded senior-level advisor to Deputy Minister Kubrikov, providing technical advice and assistance to the Ministry on Transportation and Logistics. It is an incredible honor to be speaking with all of you as we strive together to strengthen Ukraine's security and economy. I wish I could be there with you today in Kyiv in person. When we met in October, I learned so much from you, the AmCham's members, and I so appreciated the insights you provided. I'm looking forward to returning soon and reconnecting with many of you and your companies. Today, I would like to thank the incredible AmCham Ukraine for all of your great work. You have been active since 1992, helping great companies that have invested more than $50 billion in country since Ukraine's independence. And of course, you are the largest AmCham office in all of Europe. AmCham Ukraine continues to do what we are most proud of, advocating for private sector investment that will help revitalize Ukraine's economy. As you may know, this work is very personal to me. As a Ukrainian American, I am appalled by the impact of Russia's war of aggression against this beautiful nation. And I want to assure all of you that the United States will continue to provide Ukraine the support it needs to defend its people, its sovereignty, and its independence. As President Biden's special representative for Ukraine's economic recovery, it is my job to work with allies and partners to help Ukraine become a sustainable, digital, clean, competitive, and European country integrated into global markets. It is important to give Ukrainians the confidence to come home and start building towards the future, and crucial to accelerate GDP growth, state revenue, foreign direct investment, increased exports, and job creation. At this time, it is essential that we work together to address the foundational issues required to attract private sector investment. There are 6 key elements I want to highlight. Security is first and foremost. In this war, we have to be clear. The strategic momentum remains with Ukraine. Ukraine's brave service members have reclaimed over 50% of the territory Russia seized since the beginning of its full-scale invasion. With our continued assistance, Ukraine can win this war. Second, reform is vital. Anti-corruption reform remains critical to attracting private sector interest required for a full economic recovery. This group knows it better than anyone. While Ukrainian support for reform is strong in some areas, we must be clear-eyed. Many obstacles remain. Reforms remain critical to attracting the private sector interest required for full economic recovery and eventual EU accession. You have a role to play here. We need the private sector, working of course with government, to press for more in this effort. Third, unlocking new tools like war risk and maritime insurance to help companies manage risk. Just one example. 2 weeks ago, Prime Minister Shmyhal announced the establishment of the so-called Unity Facility, a new insurance offering from Marsh, Oliver Wyman, and Lloyd's of London in collaboration with the Ukrainian government, which provides maritime insurance for shippers transporting Ukrainian grain out to world markets along the humanitarian corridor. This and other forms of insurance are essential for more meaningful economic activity, even amid Russia's brutal war. Fourth, we need to support the development of infrastructure necessary to expand market access and increase exports. This is where we have the greatest potential for quick wins that will support opportunities with the best return on investment in terms of expanded government revenue in the near term. Take Odessa, for example. In the short run, increasing grain and steel exports through Odessa from recent averages of 2 or so million tons a month to 7 to 8 million tons, already underway, could add $25 billion or 8% to Ukraine's GDP and potentially increase tax revenue by $5 billion a year, which is nearly 10% of the state budget. The good news is that it's already happening. In the past 3 months, 91 vessels have exported 3.3 million tons of agricultural and metal products, and 116 vessels have called at the ports of Odessa, Chornomorsk, and Privdeny. Advancing efforts already underway in infrastructure, maritime insurance, and security will open up greater potential with knock-on economic effects throughout the country. Fifth, an important gating item is how we make Russia pay for the severe damage it has done. G7 leaders have committed to keep Russian sovereign assets in their jurisdictions immobilized and out of Russia's hands. They must pay for the damage they have done. Finally, Ukraine must have the capability to reintegrate 2 vital communities, refugees and Ukraine's veterans. Both will be crucial to the long-term health of the economy. Stepping back, we must advance these 6 fundamental elements and expose our business and private sector leadership to the relevant opportunities in Ukraine in 6 critical sectors: agriculture, technology, defense, critical minerals and steel, energy, as well as transportation and logistics. And we must also highlight the key hubs of economic activity around the country. Think Dnipro, Kharkiv, Lviv, Odessa, Kyiv, and beyond. Ultimately, Ukraine represents the front line of free ideas, free markets, and free peoples everywhere. What happens in Odessa matters to those living in Omaha, Nebraska. What happens in Kharkiv matters to Kansas City. What happens in Chernihiv matters to people in my beloved hometown of Chicago. That's why Americans and American business stand behind this country and its future. This is about all of us together fighting for freedom and economic security. Thank you again for the chance to speak before this crucial gathering of leaders working to strengthen the future of Ukraine. I look forward to partnering with all of you in the days ahead to set Ukraine on its road toward recovery.